We live in a society where people worship tradition as if it's the end all be all, as if it's the pinnacle of existence, as if, you know, tradition is intrinsically correct, when this is not the case at all. You see, traditionally, is for the stupid. And let me explain this. You see, the human race has always advanced due to innovation, thinking outside the box, pushing the envelope. But you see, regression and stagnation and complacency are products of following tradition blindly following tradition without ever questioning why are you doing what you're doing. And this creates a society in which they don't question the efficiency. They don't wonder about why they're doing what they're doing. They're just doing it because people before them did it. They're just doing it because older people told them to do it. Blind obedience. This is the problem in this society. Blind obedience. But you see, when you're a critical thinker, when you use logic, you come to realize, tradition is bullshit. You see, basically, all we are collections of molecules that have evolved over billions of years of natural selection via random genetic mutations. There's no eternal figure dictating everything or dictating anything. You see, morals, rules, laws, we made those up. We made up rules, laws, morals, social constructs, and societal expectations. They're bullshit. We made them up. So instead of, dick riding rules for no fucking reason, you're dick riding rules that some random guy made up, some random fucking primate made up. Why don't you just live your life with logic, based off of logic and critical thinking? It's just like we've come to a point to where it's like we dehumanize each other in favor of worshiping bureaucracy. It's like once you put these humans in bureaucracy, in some type of bureaucratic system, it's like they become dehumanized. They don't realize that they're interacting with another human being. It's just about fulfilling the system, fulfilling the goal of the system. It's not about the actual intended goal in the first place. It's just about, the system says this, so we do this, instead of, we made the system to do A, so let's actually just say screw the system and just try to accomplish A. You see what I'm saying? So basically, when you do things and you get a measure. But when the measure becomes the target, it ceases to be a good measure. See, that's the society that we have. It's about money. You see, the thing is, most people think that they actually think that, like living in society is about being a productive member of society, contributing to society. That's not the case at all. The thing is, in capitalism, it's about getting money. It's not about hard work. It's not about, your merits. It's not a meritocracy. It's about money. You can get money. You can get money by stealing, gambling. You know, you can find oil on your property. You can, you can inherit money. These things don't require hard work. These things are just basically chance and probability. But if you get the money, people are going to respect you. They're going to look at you as if, oh, he worked hard for his money, but that's not the case. See, whenever you in society, just realize the things that you've been told most likely are bullshit. You got to question everything. Question everything. A society and a government, they have a great way of ensuring that the citizens basically obey what they want them to obey. Social engineering, conditioning, indoctrination with the education system, and things of that nature, etc., etc. But the thing is, see, of course they're going to tell you what they want you to believe. But the thing about it is, dick riding a system of rules created by some random guy that just blindly obeying orders, that's being obedient. Slaves are obedient. The thing is that in society we have this slave mentality, that things are bad. No, good and bad it's a made up construct. It's a made up concept, human made concept. It's not real. It's arbitrary. It's subjective. You see, when slavery, back when slavery was, a widely accepted thing, basically, the slave masters they gave themselves and their attributes the adjective of good. They labeled it good. But when the slaves realized, oh, we can do the same thing, they took their situation and their attributes and they labeled it good. And basically these things have been passed on generation to generation. And these things are, that your selfless contributions are noble, and that poverty is an otherworldly virtue, and that pride and greed are evil, and that if you're poor and you just put your head down and work hard and be obedient, that you will inherit the earth, all this other bullshit. Well, that's not the case at all, man. That's a slave mentality. To put your head down and work hard and obey? No. The slaves didn't get free by obeying. They got free by saying, no, fuck this shit. I'm not taking this shit. I'm taking my freedom. You get what you want by taking it. You don't wait for somebody else to give it to you. You don't wait for an oppressor. You don't obey the oppressor. That's just stupid. We don't need morals. We don't need morals. Basically, nihilism, I look at it as more of a conclusion to critical thinking. I look at it, atheism nihilism. I look at them not as a uh, not as a worldview, more so, but basically a conclusion to, if you critically think and you continue to be a critical thinker, these are the conclusions that you're going to come to logically. So, you know, you don't have to go around, trying to be the oppressor just because you can. It's like you're not obligated to be selfless, but it doesn't mean that you have to be selfish and, trying to fuck everybody else over. There's no obligation either way. There's no obligation. But anyway, finding out that the universe is intrinsically meaningless, that life is purposeless, that all of this is just pure chance, and there's no grand scheme meaning behind it. That's very liberating. There's not one thing that you're supposed to do. There's no such thing as, what is the meaning of life? What is your purpose? No one has a purpose. But with that being said, that means you can give your life whatever purpose that you want to give it, if you want to give it one. But, basically do whatever the fuck you want to do. Now, to tie in what I was saying earlier about tradition and society, tie these things in. This is what we have today. This is what we have now. We have basically traditions that have been socially engineered by capitalistic elite, since we live in capitalism. So we have this thing, I call it the 9-to-5 trap, the middle class, the wage slave trap, the hamster wheel, the rat race, you know what I'm talking about. You go to school for like 16 years, your whole childhood and your early adulthood. Then you do 40 years of corporate ladder climbing these corporate ladders, kissing ass. You kiss ass to do something that you don't want to do. That for the majority of your life. Then at the end of your life, the tail end of your life, where your quality of life is just so low, you're so broken, you're old, you're just not in the best shape of your life. And maybe you get 5, maybe possibly 10 years to possibly enjoy your life at a diminished quality when you retire, and then you die. And that's the tradition in America. That's the tradition in this capitalistic society. We accept bullshit. We don't question things. And this is why we're where we're at. This shit is not haphazard. People think that, no, it's not haphazard. It's not, the 8 people that own more wealth than the bottom 50% of the world. And you think that's haphazard? You think that's just, they work harder than you. That's not, how can they fucking work harder than you? You think 8 people? You think 8 people can just work harder. They just put their head down and just work harder. And they own more wealth than the bottom 50% of the world. This shit is a strategically structured, artificially implemented system with people controlling it and intentionally perpetuating it. You see, the thing is, this is basically the motto of the system. The motto, right? Desperate people make ideal workers and distracted citizens. That's what this is. They start you off in school and they teach you nothing more than what they want you to know. What they want you to know. What they want you to learn. And they take these things. They take the information that they're going to tell you and they just butcher the fuck out of it. They don't tell you how to play the system that you're going to be playing. Capitalism. It's not about working hard. No. It's about selfishness and so screwing other people over and owning shit and taking shit. You know? And then so with the limited knowledge that you now have, they're going to construct these things, these jobs, these 9-to-5 jobs to where, you know, you have to, if you don't know capitalism, these are going to be your only options. You know, very, very depriving. They're going to deprive your life for the rich, for the people that own these corporations and companies. And you're going to be a slave. You're going to be a work slave. You're going to be a wage slave. You're going to be a working stiff for your entire life because this is all they've taught you. Because this is what they wanted you to do. Now, you're busting your ass. You know, you're working paycheck to paycheck. You're living paycheck to paycheck. And you're busting your ass. Now you're short-sighted. You're not looking at the entire staircase that is life. You're looking at it one step at a time. Like literally, you're walking. You see one step. Oh, you take the step. Oh, there's another step. Oh, there's another step. Because you don't have the time. You're so stressed out. You can't look at the entire staircase as a whole and formulate a plan to get to the top. You're in a rat race. You're running on a treadmill. You're putting in all of this work, but you're getting nowhere. So when you're in this state, you're too distracted. You're too distracted to worry about politics and, you know, who's telling you what to do and who's taking the money out of the paycheck, the little paycheck that you have, and who's implementing these policies and who's screwing everybody over and, you know, the social security and the social safety nets and, you know, just the things that matter, that's going to matter. You're not, you know, you're not worried about scientific research. You're not worried about the things that are actually important to the progression of society. You're worried about just, you know, playing capitalism in an inefficient way. That's what you're worrying about. Because that's what the system has made you, it's put you into this category, right? And this is what we have. And so, with this being said, there's even more tradition. The people that are living in this era, they form a mindset that they're going to pass on to their kids, and their kids are going to pass on to their kids. You know? And it creates a culture. Working hard. Oh man, you gotta get a good job. There's this notion of a good job that you're okay with working for somebody else that doesn't give a fuck about you. You know, you're okay with busting your ass slaving for a corporation that doesn't give a shit about you. You're depriving your lives for rich people that don't even know who you are. And don't give a fuck about you or your family or any of you. Any of you. And this is the culture. So, you know, you become complacent. You're okay with playing it safe. You know, you're okay with, just fitting in a system, conforming to societal expectations. And that's it, you know. You go around bragging, saying, man, I got a house, a car, a job, a wife, kids. And you say that as if that's, as if the system then specifically constructed to the point where you're okay and complacent with having these things, so you can keep being an obedient, happy slave. But you said what? Yo, you got a house, a car, a job, a wife, kids, a white picket fence. Well, congratulations, you generic average Joe son of a bitch. Congratulations. Poor fucking slave-minded idiot. Fucking drone. A grunt. You think that you're being a productive member to society and you're contributing to society when even you know that's bullshit. You only go to work for a fucking paycheck. You only go to work for a paycheck and you know it. If you didn't get a paycheck, you wouldn't go there. So basically you're working this job, these bullshit jobs that you hate. Basically, you don't want to do it. You don't want to be there. But you're working this job. You're working these bullshit jobs for the entire duration of your life. The thing about it is, you rule dick riders and you're tradition dick riders, you traditionalists. You look stupid as fuck defending a system that blatantly exploits you. You look stupid as shit. These people don't give a fuck about you. You work a thankless job. These jobs are thankless and they don't contribute to society. In fact, they inhibit society. They cause society to regress. They hold back society. Because it's not about progressing society at this point. It's about perpetuating capitalism. That's what it's about. Profits over people. That's what it's about.